You might know about ALS, a neurodegenerative disease that causes muscle atrophy and paralysis. But what many people don't know about is juvenile ALS, the younger sibling of ALS, and one of the genes that causes a mutation for juvenile ALS, also known as the SIGMAR-1 gene. So before we dive into the disease, I'm going to give a small overview about the gene. So it stands for Sigma non-opioid intracellular receptor 1, and it's located on chromosome 9 on the spot marked in red, and it codes for sigma receptors, but we'll specifically talk about sigma 1. So the sigma 1 receptor is an intracellular receptor in the endoplasmic reticulum in neuron and oligodendrite cells, and it acts as having neuroprotective properties for the cell and influences mitochondrial activity and regulates ATP production. So the mutation that causes juvenile ALS is a mutation on exon 2, where a substitution of glutamine for glutamic acid happens, and this results in lessened ATP production and mitochondrial injury that usually causes a shutdown of the cell. So now we'll dive into juvenile ALS. Juvenile ALS is a chronic motor disease characterized by combined upper and lower motor neuron symptoms with the onset prior to 25 years old. So the pattern of juvenile ALS is recessive, and as you can see, the Punnett squares lows are the percentage of children that will have juvenile ALS depending on the genotypes of the parents. Symptoms are spasticity, twitching and overactive reflexes, slurred speech, spastic gait, muscle weakness, and gradual atrophying of muscles, and bladder dysfunction. These symptoms are progressive in nature. They usually start when you're really young, and they start growing larger and larger as you grow up, especially in your adolescent years. And juvenile ALS patients usually have a lessened lifespan, but it's only like 20 years less than normal lifespans. So there is no known cure for juvenile ALS, but there are some treatments, such as using drugs that have sigma-1 receptor agonists, such as fluvoxamine, donepezil, and neurosteroids. And these all help increase sigma-1 receptor function, which, as mentioned before, increases the production of ATP in the cells and promotes neuroprotective properties within a neuron. So some speculations I have are, since there are various changing factors in the environment, such as better healthcare, treatments, and drugs, there will be a lessened percentage of people who have juvenile ALS in the United States in the more recent years. And here are my works cited. And thank you so much for listening.